Hello everyone, welcome back to the Great Book Review video series. I am Complete Yourself. To read or not to read? That is the question that confuses many people with doubt and wonder when they see this rare piece of wisdom in a book that claims to teach these successful habits. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is the title of this famous work of art. Written by Stephen R. Covey, a sage who has memorized many leaders. In addition, Stephen R. Covey is an American educator, author, entrepreneur, and keynote speaker. His most famous book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, has sold more than 40 million copies worldwide since its first publication in 1989. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is the #1 influential business book of the 20th century. This is one of the most inspirational and impactful books ever written. In the book, he says that there are 7 principles that guide the lives of people who excel personally and professionally, and help them overcome fear and illness. These habits are: being proactive, starting with the goal in mind, putting the important things first, thinking win-win, seeking understanding first, then being understood, synergies, and last but not least, sharpening the saw, that is, balancing and renewing yourself on 4 dimensions: physical, mental, social, and spiritual. So one person can do much more. But is this book as good as it appears? Or is it just a fable or a dream? Does it deserve the praise of all these years? Or is it just a bubble on the flow? This is the task I propose to do: read this book carefully and appreciate it. And then write down my honest thoughts and opinions and share them with all of you, my dear listeners. This book is divided into 4 parts: the introduction, the personal triumph, the collective victory, and the renewal. The introduction explains the concept of paradigm shift and how it affects our perception and behavior. Personal victory consists of the first 3 habits: being proactive, starting with the end goal, and putting the most important things first. These habits help us achieve independence and self-control. Winning in public involves the next 3 habits: thinking win-win, finding ways to think first, then thinking, and synergizing. These habits help us achieve interdependence and productive relationships. The new twist embraces the final routine: sharpening the counter. This habit helps us stay productive and happy by renewing ourselves in 4 dimensions: physical, mental, social, and spiritual. Each section and routine is explained in detail with examples, stories, tools, and exercises to make the book engaging and practical. Okay, now let's dive into the 7 habits mentioned in the book. Habit 1: be proactive. To be or not to be, it's a choice that we have to make day by day, hour by hour, because we are not just creatures with a voice within us with a terrifying power. We are not slaves to our circumstances or our destiny, but masters of our destiny. We have the power to create and innovate and to respond gracefully and dignified. Because we have 2 circles in our mind and heart. 1 circle of influence and 1 circle of interest. The first round is the area where we can take action and start. The second round is an area where we can learn and differentiate. Active people focus on the first and find ways to change the things they can control. Passive people focus on the worst and blame the things they can't comfort. Proactive people use positive language and act according to their values and vision. Reactive people use negative language and react according to their feelings and situation. Therefore, if we want to be effective in our lives, we must be proactive, not reactive. We must take responsibility and strive to be the change we want. Habit 2: start with a goal in mind. What is the end and purpose of our life? What legacy do we want to leave? What is the vision that we have in the vision? What are the values that we hold in separate? These are the questions we must ask ourselves if we want to live a meaningful and oriented life, because without a clear and convincing goal in mind, we will wander in the maze of distraction. The end goal in mind is not a goal or a plan, but a principle and a model. It is the essence of who we are and who we can become as we grow and advance. The last thing on mind is our personal mission statement, defining our roles, goals, and contributions. It is our guidepost, and our guidepost that guides our decisions, actions, and decisions. Our implementation. To begin with a purpose in mind, we must first create it in our imagination and in our conscience. We must then commit to doing it and declare it in writing and orally with confidence. Therefore, if we want to be effective in our life, we must start with the end goal. We must have a vision and mission full of meaning and values. Habit 3. Prioritize the most important things. What are the first things in our lives? What are the most important things? What are the things that cause us to conflict? What are the things that make us brag? These are the questions we must answer for ourselves if we want to live a life of priority and efficiency. Since there is no clear and consistent order of importance, we will waste our time and energy. The first things are not the same for everyone, but they are based on our individual mission and vision. They are important and urgent things. They are the ones that align with our purposes and passions. The first things are often difficult to do and easy to distract. They require discipline, courage, and sacrifice. Often overshadowed by urgent but not important things. They are often overshadowed by things that are not urgent but important. To put the important things first, we must first define them in our roles, goals, and weekly schedule. Then we must organize and execute them in a balanced and efficient, flexible way. Therefore, if we want to be effective in our life, we must put the most important things first, not last. We must manage ourselves, not just time or conflict. We must focus on the results and not just on the task. Habit 4. Think win-win. What is the best way to interact with others? What mindset should we adopt? What results should we like? What attitude should we adopt? These are questions that we must ponder carefully if we want to live a life of harmony and synergy, because without clear and mutual understanding, we will face conflict and adversity. The best way to interact with others is to think win-win and look for win-win solutions. The thinking we should adopt is abundance and trust, and believe that there is enough for everyone to grow. The outcome we should expect is mutual benefit and create value for ourselves and others. The attitude we should adopt is cooperation and respect, and treat others as partners and brothers. To think win-win, we must first have a win-win character that includes integrity, maturity, and abundance mentality. Then we must have a mutually beneficial relationship. It is based on trust, respect, and mutual benefit. So if we want to be effective in our life, we must think win-win, not win-lose or lose-win. We must seek mutual benefit and not competition or compromise. We must create synergy, not conflict or division. Habit 5. Learn first, then understand. What is the secret to effective communication? What skills should we master? What order should we follow? What benefits should we collect? These are questions that we must consider carefully if we want to live a life of influence and persuasion, because without clear and sincere communication, we will encounter misunderstandings and disappointments. Hope. The key to effective communication is finding a way to understand first, then being understood and listening empathically before speaking effectively. A skill that we should master is empathetic listening and understanding others deeply and exactly. The order that we should follow is understanding before expressing, and listening with our ears, eyes, and heart before speaking out. The benefit that we should gather is mutual understanding and respect, and building trust and relationships with others before influencing them. To seek to understand first, then to be understood, we must first have a genuine desire to understand others and their needs, feelings, and perspectives. Then we must have courage and confidence to express oneself and one's views clearly and respectfully. Therefore, if we want to be effective in our lives, we must first seek to understand, then be understood. We must listen empathically before speaking effectively. We must communicate with understanding and influence. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw blade. What's the secret to staying productive? What habits should we cultivate? What are the dimensions that we should balance? What activities should we start? These are questions we must answer well if we want to live a productive and happy life, because without clear and consistent innovation, we will lose our edge and our meaning. The secret to staying productive is sharpening the saw blade and renewing ourselves regularly in the 4 dimensions habits we should cultivate: our balanced self-renewal and purposeful wise investment in ourselves. Aspects that we should balance are physical, mental, social and spiritual, and to take care of our body, mind, heart and soul activities that we should begin to practice exercise, study, serve, and meditate, and to do things that enhance our health, wisdom, relationships, and purpose. To sharpen the saw, we must first make a commitment to preserve and enhance our greatest asset, ourselves. Then we must have a plan and schedule bringing innovation to life our daily. So, if we want to be effective in our lives, we must sharpen the saw, not dull it. Must constantly renew oneself in the 4 dimensions. We must do well and live well. Here, I have shown you the contents of this book: 7 habits of highly effective people that can help you improve your life and achieve more happiness, success, and fulfillment. But words alone cannot convey the power and beauty of this book and its message. You have to read it for yourself and discover how it can change your life and perspective. Because this book is not a one-time read but a companion and guide that you can refer to and proceed to apply habits to your life. So I encourage you to buy this book and read it with an open mind and heart. Because it will teach you how to see yourself and others differently. This book is a treasure and a gift that you can give to yourself and others. It will inspire you and lift your spirits and personality. And finally, all reading books are for reference and won't work if you don't take action. Read and put this knowledge into practice if you feel it's right for you. From there, you can draw your own experiences, because this life is not right or wrong, but this life is an experience. Thank you for listening. If you find it interesting, please give me 1 like and 1 channel subscription to update the latest videos from me. Complete yourself, good book review. Let's learn and grow together through good books.